Hey everybody, back to talk about the Saved by the Bell reboot, the first season. I know I've been saying week after week, I'm going to talk about the Saved by the Bell reboot. I'm going to talk about the first season, and I talked about that first episode, and I haven't recapped it yet. But reason for that being, there's so many, like most of the videos I'm recording, I want to have a timely nature to them. So like, for instance, the Fight Talk video that I posted, I wanted to post that as soon after the event as I could. I did the same thing with that Euphoria video. I watched Euphoria and I think I recorded the video the next day. And there's so many things that I want to have more of a timely feel. Since I already had a review of episode 1 of Saved by the Bell already on the feed, I didn't really see a timely nature to getting this video up and recording about the reboot as a whole. But you know, the time's come. I'm ready to talk about it. So let's get after it. As you can see, in the garage again, smoking again, enjoying my night. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna talk about Saved by the Bell. And after that, I'm gonna post a video about Big Mouth season 4. And we'll be cooling out for the time being. Coming after that will be Mando episode 7. Whatever else I'm watching, because I can't remember at the moment. I've actually been watching The Expanse. I will talk about that at some point. And Schitt's Creek, which I am way behind on because I just started it. It's got 6 seasons. I'm only on season 2, so I got a way to go. But I'll be talking about that as well. So, Saved by the Bell reboot. Like I said in the first episode, about the first episode, is that this show takes I don't want to say a unique perspective toward high school, because I think most shows that are about high school students take a perspective that pertains to those students within that era. So if you look at the original Saved by the Bell program, you see a lot of 90s shit that like just that matters there. Like if you think about the episode with Jesse and the drugs and stuff like that, you get things that pertain to what's going on in that time. And this show does the same thing. It's 2020 right now, and the makeup of the world and the things that people talk about in our society have changed dramatically from what we saw in the 90s. And I think this show does a good job of moving the Saved by the Bell aesthetic into 2020. And what they did, like I mentioned when I talked about the first episode, is they brought in students from a inner city school that doesn't have the funding, aka black and brown kids, into Bayside, which is a upper echelon public school, but it's still full of basically rich white kids. So you get that cultural and class clashing and dynamic that persists throughout the episodes. You get you got your group of the inner city kids that came from the other school, and then other schools, and then you have your Bayside kids. One of the Bayside kids, one of the more interesting characters, Lexi, is transgender, and I don't think you would have a transgender character and cast someone who is not transgender in that role, but I felt the need to look it up anyway just to verify. And the actor is transgender. She used to be on a lot of Disney shows that actually I think my son used to watch when he was younger, as a boy, obviously. And she's one of the more interesting characters on the show. I like the fact that they introduced a transgender character and didn't make a big deal out of it. There's a lot of underlying things that happen that if you were watching the show without the knowledge of this character being transgender, it would feel like nothing special. But there's a lot of subtext to a lot of interactions involving Lexi that I find interesting. For instance, one of the characters is she's into one of the other characters. It's actually Jesse's son, and there's a scene where she's professing how she feels for him, and he starts to say that he likes her, but he's not that into her because she used to be, and you think, is he gonna say like she used to be a boy? Like you don't really know where that's gonna go. And he pauses and he says, like, he used to be so mean or something like that. And that's a situation where if you don't know, if they hadn't just dropped casually in the very first episode, because they don't mention it again that Lexi's transgender. They mention it in the first episode, they don't bring it up again. But if you note that when that dialogue happens later in the season, and I believe that's toward the end in the last or second to last episode, it adds a lot of subtext to that conversation of like, can I date you or not? And I thought they handled that really well by not like shoving it in the viewer's face that this character is transgender and making these relationship dynamics between her and the other characters, making them some big like, look at us trying to really ingratiate ourselves to the LGBTQ community. Like it doesn't feel so ham-fisted and forced, and I like the subtle nature of it. So I like that they were able to both incorporate a transgender actress and character into the show, but also not, put a big neon sign around her and go, look at this transgender character. They just did a good job of just playing with what those dynamics might be like in high school. So I thought that was pretty cool. The show is fairly funny. I think it is kind of more aimed toward teenagers. Like you don't make something like that and have your target audience be a bunch of 40-year-olds. So I think they are relying on people like me to help bring in younger viewers, but I don't think it is for me per se. They had I believe it was episode 8 that was dedicated to the old cast. You see everyone except Screech. You get Lisa over a FaceTime or Zoom or whatever they use to call. So that was fun, the like nice and nostalgic episode for all of us old cronies. And then you also get a lot of wait, let me before I even go to this. I wanted to mention one other thing that I had to write it down in my notes. This might be the worst theme song in television history. Like they remixed the original Saved by the Bell theme, but it's performed by Lil Yachty, and it's a complete bastardization of the original theme, so it's not any good no matter who performed it. But then you get Lil Yachty, who sounds like he just had a lobotomy, performing it, and it just sounds so bad. Like, I mean, it's so bad, it's one of those things where like if you just start the episode with the theme song, you're liable to lose people. They're just gonna cut it off and be like, I'm not watching this shit. Like, what is this? But yeah, horrible theme song. And then, like I mentioned, also this shows. When I say it's not for people who are older, that doesn't necessarily mean it's for kids either. I felt like the original Saved by the Bell was maybe not for kids, but acceptable for kids. This one, not so much. You get some foul language. You get some mature. When I say mature themes, I don't mean that in like the way like if you see a TVMA TV show, it's like, oh, mature themes. But I mean like, stuff that they talk about that you might not want to necessarily have a 8-year-old watching. But otherwise, I think this is a show that I can see having legs. I think it can appeal to your teenagers without feeling like they're trying too hard, if that makes sense. I feel like they can appeal to teenagers naturally. I feel like it's funny enough to last. I get some of my cigar in my mouth. Gross. I'm not going to edit that out either because fuck it. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. You can appeal to the teenagers without feeling like you're trying too hard, but I also don't think this is something for me that I would watch consistently. It's not a bad show by any means. I like it. I do highly encourage anyone to watch it, but I feel like the viewers of this channel and the listeners to the podcast, if you're in a similar demographic to me, that older millennial, younger, whatever is the generation before millennial, people who are at or around 40 years old, it's probably not something you're going to watch consistently. It's something that you'll watch if you're looking for something lighthearted to watch. Maybe you want it on in the background, or maybe you just want to relive some Saved by the Bell stuff. It'll be good for that. But I don't see it being something where you're like, I must check this out, especially considering that everything that I've covered so far on this YouTube channel is something that I encourage you to watch one way or another. So All in all, I think that the Saved by the Bell reboot was a success. I don't know how it's doing on Peacock. I don't even know what other people think about it. But I know that I enjoyed it. I did peel through the 10 episodes fairly quickly, so it was, it was engaging enough to keep my attention. But it's just not something that I see myself or anyone else in my demographic going like, yeah, when does season 2 drop? Oh, it drops on Thursday, and then, sitting on Thursday like, let me watch 5 episodes because this is so good. Like, I don't see that happening. So if it gets renewed for a second season, I may or may not check it out. I don't know. But it'll be one of those things where it's like, if I'm looking for something lighthearted to watch, or, I'm fresh out of stuff, so I'm like, let me watch this while I figure out what my next thing's gonna be, is definitely something I check out. But I don't think it's really meant to consistently appeal to those in my age demographic. So still, big thumbs up for the show. If that sounds like your speed, definitely check it out. All the episodes are on Peacock, but you have to have the premium $5 subscription to watch them. You can only watch the first one for free. So keep that in mind as well. So like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff that I say at the end of every video. And let me know what you think about these videos. Give me any feedback, suggestions, comments, critiques, whatever you may have. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace.